Hello engineers, and welcome to another Space Engineers 2 video. Now this one's probably going to be a little different. I decided in today's video that we're just going to go through the couple of ships I have made in the game thus far. As we look through the first 4 ships that I got going on here, we will definitely note that I am not good at building from scratch. But once we look at the 2 ships in the distance, you'll see that I'm much better at building from something that already exists. But nonetheless, I hope you enjoy, and if any point that you do enjoy, please hit that like button. Consider subscribing. I'm only 400 something off of my goal of hitting 1,000. With your help, I can get there. Anyway, let's get into this video, shall we? So first off, I wanted to show this horrible little monstrosity that I made. Hold on, actually, maybe I should, hold on, can I? Oh, never mind. I was thinking about getting in the spectate cam, but it's just, nah. So I wanted to build something a little similar to what we're going to show next, but not quite that. And it didn't go well. It's not bad, but I couldn't, there's not blocks to create this shape that I need right here at the angle of which I need it. So it came kind of awkward, and it doesn't look the way I like really envisioned it. But this is the F-J. Was it? I think it's Ucarna. Let me fact check myself real quick. I'm pretty sure I'm right. Hold on. Loading. Yes, Ucarna. Why did I name it that? I have no idea. But this thing really doesn't have much of a purpose. I guess you could just, like, I don't know, scout with it, maybe. It's got a couple weapons. It's a little detailed. It's not crazy. It's not over the top. It's just a little bit. I tried to keep the thrusters as small as possible. I had an idea for something, but it just didn't completely go out. It's not a horrible ship. It's just, I mean, well, it's not that great. I mean, it's pretty quick, though. She's pretty good at able to switch directions and pick up speed again, so it's not horrible. It's just, it's not what I had in mind. It is fast, so I'll give it that. It is pretty fast. Oh, look at that near perfect landing. Almost brought it completely back to where it was when we started. Oh, man. I don't know why I said landing. I didn't land anything. Next, we're going to move over to 2 ships that I built when the game first came out. Yes, they look horrible. We have the X... What did I name these things? Does anyone remember? God, I can't actually remember what I named them. This is when the game came out that I made these. Ah, yes, the X1 and X2. Now, this is the X1. It is, well, it's X-shaped. Mostly if we ignore the little outliers. And, you know, it's X-shaped gun. So, it works, okay? This was right when the game came out. First stream of the game. Yeah, this is the monstrosity that I built. Ooh, let's not crash into my ship behind me. That would not have been good. I mean, I could have just pasted it back in, but, you know, it's... Fun, dinky little ship. Purpose? None. In fact, I don't even think it's, I don't think those are... No, they're not, because you can see right there, they're not even... I don't think we had conveyors yet. I'm pretty sure conveyors came in one of the weekly updates, so we didn't even have conveyors to hook those up, so it's not really functional. We move over to the X2, or X-2. I did a little better. I made it look just a little bit better. It's not crazy good or anything. I think I have the same thruster, or I did something slightly different with the thrusters. Yeah, I just improved it slightly. It's nothing really to gawk at. I made this like 5 minutes after the other one. So, yeah, it's not too terribly crazy. Alright. Let's get our way out of this thing. Oh, as we wander off. And finally, for the small ships that I have made, I guess you can call this thing small. I call this thing, that's not even the right ship. I was confused. I call this thing the Blood Eagle. Because when I sit at this angle, it looks like wings, like a bird, and then you got the beak, and it's red. But other people I've showed this have absolutely dogged on it and called it a stickman. Iron Deficiency Bros. It's had a couple names thrown at it from the people I showed. It's not gotten love. She is a wide boy, but there's reason for that, and I'll explain it in just a moment. But keeping with the eagle theme, I gave it those piercing blue eyes. It's got a couple weaponry pieces on it. I think it looks pretty good. Could it look better? Yeah, it could. But I needed the middle part a little thick for what I have planned in the future when we get some more blocks added to the game. I think it's pretty good. I kept the wings pretty small. I mean, they're very minimal. We just take this real quick and delete these blocks. You can see that, I mean, the thrusters are connected to the smallest conveyor node. So, I mean, like, they're as small as you can realistically get them. So, I think I did a good job keeping the wings small and thin, and then a big thruster on the back. And I even added a little, ore detector. I almost called it a rotary for some reason. Maybe it's because it's rotating. Ore detector, just to kind of make it look a little interesting. The reason she is so big, though, if we open her up and hopefully fit inside, you know how this can go. Yep. Ah, like a glove. I think I broke the ship. You might be wondering why there are 3 H2A2 generators. It's because I didn't know the size of the battery or the hydrogen tank when we would get them. So I just put these in as fillers to then remove and place the corresponding, hydrogen tank and battery. So this thing would actually function in a realistic sense. And because I was still building it, I didn't know how I was going to build it. I needed something to fill up the space of what those would be and where they would go. So that's what we got. But when those are added to the game, I'm going to replace those. And I think I'm going to break this piping and I'm going to run it through the floor right here. And I'm going to get rid of the big thruster, and when we get some doors or maybe mini hangars, or I might even use a mod, although I don't like to use mods when building my ships, just because it, then you can't just download it and use it, or hop into a random game with it and use it, because, that game may not have the mod. You get what I mean. But I'm going to remove that and have it kind of like a door of some sort, and then we're going to put a couple chairs in here, and it'll be kind of like a little strike troop drop pod or something. I don't really know. We'll just have to see what they add in the future of the game. It's not bad. She's a little heavy. I think she flies pretty well, as I almost immediately fly into another thing. She's a little big, but she's cool. I think it's pretty cool. I actually really like the ship. Out of the things I have made so far in SE2, or at least small things I've made, this has got to be my favorite. Small. I'm gonna loosely quotate the small part because it's she a little bigger than everything else. Alright, so if we move on over here, we have the Vengeful Mark 1 and the very recently finished Mark 2, and this is where the video might get a little lengthy. So before we continue, go grab yourself some popcorn, strap yourself in, throw away the key so you can't escape. I need those watch hours, please. Please don't leave me. Get yourself something to drink so you don't choke on your popcorn, or, have something to rinse out your mouth when those stubborn little kernels get in there. And let me break down the ship. So in the beginning, no, I'm not gonna break it down all that much. This ship is kind of a port over of a ship from SE1. I took a ship from SE1. It was not my original ship, this ship, but it is the ship that I've built all of my ships in SE1 off of. It's called the Bass Casino. That was the original blueprint. I modified it really heavy, made my own kind of ship from it, and then I just kept adding on to it from there. And with SE2, I just took that original blueprint of the ship, I used that mod, and I ported it over, and then I heavily modified it, and this is the end result that we got. It is very Halo-esque. It very much looks like a Halo ship. I've had people comment that in my streams. It is very Halo-looking. It's kind of the goal. I like Halo-esque ships. I don't like it 100% Halo, but, nice and influenced by Halo is good, with additional modifiers, as you could tell, modifier right here. This wouldn't normally be here. This would be flat in a Halo ship. Yeah, let's just break this thing down, shall we? So, starting from the top, make it drop. No, I'm just playing. From the nose of it, we have a little bit of a runway kind of thing going on. It was kind of the idea behind it. And then it would come down, and you would have these 8, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 8 landing areas. So this would be kind of a landing thing. The ship is not meant for combat. It's kind of, like an aircraft carrier, but, not in the water. I have to say that because water is going to be in the game eventually. So, aircraft carrier, but not in the water. I think this was really cleverly done. I really like the way I did this. Oh, okay, so it's just really dark right here, even with my light on. If we pull out this thing, I did a lot of things. You can see we got big block here, and then we use small here. And I think it was really, like, nifty the way I did this. Block, you know, I should break this. As you can see, I used a lot of conveyors. And I kind of, like, mixed the shape and everything, so it would be, like, set in and a little smaller. And I think it's really cool the way I did that. It makes it so it's not completely flush with the thing, but also not standing out. It's literally one decor block. So like, what, 0.25 centimeter or whatever the measurement is, size block poking out. It's very minimal, but it is out. So that way, if your ship that you're trying to dock on it, you know, is like, its connector is like super flat with the ship, it does have a little bit of room, and you're not just smashing it against the big ship trying to dock your ship, of course. And we move on from there. We have, I think we should do the, you know, the more lit side. We have these, I added these on the side. They're kind of like another spot for you to land. Think of it kind of like a little landing pad for smaller ships. In the original, this is the hangar, and the actual entrance was right here, and this wing wasn't here, so the entrance would go from that top glass to right there, and you would have the hangar doors, but I split it in half. I kind of broke up the hangar, and you may notice these ugly ions poking out. The ship was done up before we got the, well, not before we got the conveyors, because the conveyors are right there, but it was done up before we got the hydrogen, and that ship over there will take advantage of the hydrogen. So we'll talk about that. Something I didn't realize until well after his blueprint was done. I actually messed up. I guess symmetry just like betrayed me here, because I built that there and it did not repeat over here. So another case of symmetry turning off at the most inopportune times. But this is kind of a little hangar. It's only like a 3x3 large block entrance. It's not very big. You're not getting big ships through here. But it's just big enough. I mean, you can land a little something in here, and there you go. And we come down here, we got this little, oh, wait. Before we do that, you're probably wondering, you know, you saw the other spot, which would look like a secondary hangar, just outside here, you know, this looks like a hangar. It's very similar design. It was part of the hangar in the original blueprint, but I have converted it into the storage area. We just got our cargo containers. We had 2 large for bigger things, and then we have 4 smaller that we were going to run subs off like this. That way it would directly only feed like turrets in the future, or only feed into ships with the smaller connectors. That's kind of a forgotten thing, and I hadn't actually finished that. I have to go and do that. I'm sorry I'm flicking my mouse around a lot. I'm on like 5 cups of coffee. It is midnight, boys. I am trying to get this out to you. I had a different video planned, but I ran out of time because I'm trying to get a video out every 2 days, and I ran out of time to get that video done. So we have this. I'm sorry. It's a lame substitute, but I hope you'll enjoy it nonetheless. If we continue down here like I was originally going to do before we get sidetracked, we have this another area down here. It's pretty barren. There wasn't a lot of blocks in the game to really do much with, and because it's only 1 large block tall, there wasn't a lot of room to make your own like tiny decor blocks to like make beds and stuff in here that would really make a lot of sense. So there wasn't really anything going on here. And then we have our medical room, which because this is a blueprint from SE1 into SE2, it placed the medical bay where the SE1 medical bay was, because the blocks technically exist in the game. It's just a different size, and it created this monstrosity that I will admit I did not fix in the new version either. Maybe I'll do that in the new ship that I'm working on based off this platform. But you know, we come back here. Oh, I forgot to put the walls here. Oops. We come back here and we go over here into the engine room, and it is barren. I don't know if you've ever played with any of my SC1 ships from this platform. I call it the Vengeful platform. But it's really nice designed in here on these ships, and well, there's not a lot to design. I mean, we don't have hydrogen tanks for me to put up. We have the reactor, but because it's weirdly set up and it doesn't have the reactor ports on the side, it's rotated wrong, and we don't have the same like large refinery, or yet. Do we have a large refinery? Hold on. Okay, I have no excuse. The refinery is in the game. It might be slightly bigger, and that's why it's not over here. The SE1 refinery sits right here, and it might be... Oh, actually, you know, while we're here, for the sake of it, right? Because if you're watching the video at this point, you're invested. So let's go ahead and just check you. Yeah, they're a little different size. I think just a little bit. And the ports are, yeah, they're a little different. That's okay though. I think I could. Oh wow, I could actually get away with placing 2 here. Oh, isn't that unique? Hello, next thing I'm doing. Anyway, moving on. Over here we had all the H2O2s and stuff like that, which weren't in the game when I ported this over, I don't believe. I'm pretty sure the H2O2 generator was added in one of the weekly updates. I'd have to go through one of my weekly update videos to confirm that. And then we have all this empty space. If you know my ships from SE1, or at least the Predator onward, I kind of filled in the space with armor, thrusters, a lounge, and such. But there's not really anything else to look at over here, so let's go into the abyss. I forgot this hole was right here. See, there's supposed to be a welder right here, like right where I'm pointing, and it points down, and then there'd be a turret, and then like it would weld up the turret to keep the defenses online. But well, you know, we lack that capability at the very moment, or at least when I was building this, we did. And here was the sub-engine room. There's not really much for me to add in here at the moment. I think in a newer version, because I'm currently making a new ship off the same, off the Mark II version of the ship. I'm building an entirely new ship off that, and it's not going to be a Mark version. It's going to be an absolute expansion. I think we're going to pack some like thrusters and more gyros down in this area, because there's nothing really going on in here. I haven't modified a lot of the interior of the ship because there's not a lot of things to put on your grid in the current version of the game. If we head over to here and we go back out here into the I am trying to walk left and it's like pushing me over there. That was weird. Walk left, we're back over here. The hangar was just over there. If we walk over here and down, we actually get into a fun little area that I needed to modify. As you can tell, the stairs are all messed up. It's because we had the proper stair blocks from SE1 coming down. And that's why it's like this. We don't have those set up yet. But I doubt these are, yeah, these aren't even programmed. We have the ODST drop pod, or drop bay, whatever you want to call it. It's a bay. You open the door and you... Yeah, pretty cool. And that's really all of the interior of the shell, except the command center, the pilot seat, whatever you want to call it, really. There's not a lot going on in here, because we don't have, you know, like LCDs and a bunch of different seats and stuff to place. So, yeah, not a lot going on in here. And we don't even have our point turret that we'd have right here defending this place. But let's move on to the Mark II. Well, maybe show a little bit more of the ship before we move on to the Mark II. I haven't really shown it. So you can get an idea what's changed. If at any point you could just slow down the video and look at it bit by bit if you want. I just don't want to take up too much of your time, because I could easily yamble about this for like hours. But yeah, this is the ship. So over to the Mark II, shall we? So the Mark II actually got a little bit of love. I'm gonna give a slight trypophobia warning, because I can kind of see how it would trigger somebody with trypophobia. So if you have that, look away, and I'll tell you when to look back. And over here, we replace our thrusters with a whole bunch of these. It kind of looks like holes, so that's why I'm giving the warning. Pretty neat. Also kind of looks like spider eyes. I'm waiting for when we get the bigger hydrogen thruster that'll actually fill up this gap in Vertical Slice 2, which is coming out on December 1st, by the way, if you didn't know that. Let me be the first to tell you. Alright, trypophobia, fear people, you may now look back. It all is well. So, we did a little bit of design thing. We can see that we added some ramps to get down, just to make it a little better. Some scaffolding, just for like visual aesthetic and functionality. I added some lights on the little connect things. And originally, the idea behind this was to be, like, you know, on an aircraft carrier, when this would come up, and then the jets, like, off to keep, like, the burner, or the thrusters from, like, scorching shit behind it and help it push off. Well, that was the idea, and then I remembered I put that there, and, well, yeah. So, I painted it in hazard colors, and I'm now using it so you know how far to park away from this thing, so you don't break your ship. And then while I was at it, I thought it'd be fun to add these little around it, just extra warning kind of things. You know, the casual stuff, of course. If we continue back up here real quick, we can see we added more lights around these 4 in the back. We did not do the 4 in the front, because each one of these lights, for some reason in the game, I understand why, somebody broke it down to me in one of my videos, but each one of these is 150 PCU. yeah, this grid is a little chunky on PCU, and of course we added a lot of lights going all the way down. I've not color coordinated them. I plan to do that in a different version, but while we're up here, we're gonna go ahead and look at this, and I love the way this came out with like the depth of it and everything. I think that looks really good. It's probably one of my favorite things I've done with this version of the ship. Oh god, I'm yapping. Give me a second. I gotta take a drip of water. Jesus, I just looked over and realized I've been yapping for 20 minutes straight, breaking new records over here. Anyway, hopefully you guys are still with me. Hold in there. Hold in there. Quick, I'll pause it real quick. Go get a bathroom break. Okay, you back from the bathroom? Awesome, sick. Let's continue. This is probably one of my favorite bits. I really love the way I did this. It's not a full, well, this one is, but this is not a full block. It's actually half. I did a normal block, not a slab, a normal block. I could have got away with the slab, but I needed it to not be like that. I'll show you here in a minute why. And I kind of put it in the halfway mark, so it's actually only one decal block of gap right here, where this is more of two. 1, 2, technically, depends on how you look at it, because it's an angle. I'm not moving. My character was actually just tweaking out there. I did extend the hangar bit a little bit. As you can see, it was right here, and we've moved it down a couple blocks. I will talk to you about that and why that has been done when we get inside the hangar. That hasn't changed much, and we'll break that down. I also really love these. Somebody pointed out it kind of looks like I'm doing vents, and they said it was stupid, because why should a ship in space have vents? I'm gonna argue we're gonna call these heat distribution vents, and there you go. That's my rebuttal. And if you don't like my rebuttal, well, I made the ship. You didn't. Moving on. We got another one right there. I didn't want to continue it all the way down because I felt like it was absolutely redundant. I felt like this was good, and then have a separate version right there, and then anything else would be eh. If we notice, if we enhance up there, we can see that we have a 2x2 set of windows, so it's like too high, and then, you know, it's really long. And then this is one where you take advantage of the halves here, and we made them double thick, so that way they wouldn't instantaneously break. Although if I guess a big enough projectile hit it, it wouldn't matter. But you know, that could be said about anything on the ship. So, man. So we changed that a little bit, made it look a little different. We also changed this. Nobody cares about that, so we're not gonna break that down. I'll get to talking about this. I just want to look at the exterior. I really like the way this happened. Originally it was red, but I forgot to paint the other side red, and it had a white streak right here, and I was like, wait, I actually kind of like that, so I left the white streak on both sides. So that's pretty cool. We added, you know, one of these. I don't know what it does. I was looking at the red ship, and that's where I got the inspiration to do these little cutouts of armor, because the red ship has a lot of them. And I saw it on the red ship, so I placed it on mine. Well, not placed, I built my own version. And I was going to build more, and then, yeah, I just couldn't think of anything else, so we got that. I'm going to call it the Alien Booger. We trimmed out this right here just a little bit, added some black in the back to give it some depth and make it look, you know, like it's deeper and more meaning than it really is. We did the same thing with the band going all around the ship. I think it looks pretty cool. Let me turn my headlights on. I think it looks pretty cool. Honestly, doink. And then finally, let's look over here. If I turn my lights off, we actually wrap the armor up and under itself, and I think it looks really well. And with it painted black, I think it creates a nice effect when you're not on the sun side. Let me go to the darker side. Come to the dark side. Yeah, it creates this nice, like, infinite void kind of look going on of darkness, and I really liked it. I thought it fit, like, really well. Moving on a little more, if we come to the front here, we did this, we were doing that thing with this, and originally I had it painted black, and I was like, man, what if I just painted it red and see how it looked? And I painted half of it red, and I was like, wait a minute, I actually kind of like that. So that's how this ended up happening. I do stream myself doing these ships, so if you're still here, obviously you're interested in my content. What the hell? Why are these red? These aren't supposed to be red. I'm gonna have to update this blueprint and remove these. Speaking of blueprints, this blueprint and those two that I showed off, not the X and X2, are not public, but if you want them, I can public them. I didn't really think anybody would be interested, but let me know which one you want down in the comment, and I'll make it public for you. I'll let you know. I'll share you the link or something. Yeah. Moving back on. Not a lot to go over in the front anymore. I almost give you the trypophobia warning again there. We did the kind of a little bit here to kind of like emulate like like vents, not vents as in like intake, but like this is kind of like the engines, you know, because right back here behind this panel is actually where the hydrogen tank sits, and there's a lot of H2O2s here, and I would have hydrogen engines in the same area as well in the SE1 version, so it's kind of the engines. So I thought it'd be funny if there was exhaust, because it's not really possible. As you can see, we also updated it and add the hydros where the ions were. If we look across the bottom, there are hydros way down here. Just fly down here real quick. Yep. Oh, in that hole I fell out of down here at the bottom of the ship, I've actually replaced these, I actually have to fill that in, but I kind of made these for now for where the turrets sit, just to give that block some use. And I guess it adds a little bitty amount of function, although with all the blocks I have surrounding it, I think they're actually like void. I think only this block is actually doing anything. These tiny thrusters probably are not actually helping at all. If anything, it's probably adding a little bit of weight to the ship. We updated it with a Mark II badge. Things look pretty goo. We came around and replaced what we could of the ion thrusters with hydrogen where they're supposed to go, and then if we yeah, you can see right there, there's still the hookups for when we do actually get the hydrogen properly into the game. For the big thruster, we can remove these ions and put them where they're supposed to go, just like that, and then put the new ion set in. And yeah, if we come over here, I lost what I was going to say. There's nothing over there. We're moving on. So I guess now we should go inside the hangar. I feel like I've covered everything on the external bit here. So with the hangar, next to nothing changed. Well, we did get small connectors. That way little ships, because that's really the only thing you're going to get in here, is little ships could dock up on the ceiling. The reason for the expansion is if this red line indicates where the hangar entrance was. And if we take, because it was a sharp corner, if we take a look here, we would have all of this space exposed to space. If we look from this angle, it's even worse. But now that this extended out, if we go from the closest point, we only have this amount of space shown to space because we have no hangar doors. We did it this way so that way debris and maybe even stray fire, depending on whether we get hangar doors before or after functioning weapons and like encounters or maybe some sort of PvP. I'm praying we get hangar doors before we get multiplayer. That'd be really nice. It would just reduce the chance of your little ships in here getting hit from a frontal attack. Yeah, that was kind of the whole point, and I think it looks nice. I did sacrifice a thruster, but I did that in the first one when I removed the thruster that goes here, because it was a double stack thruster like that over there, just to make that entrance instead of this over here. And I think that is everything exterior, including hangar. We have one last thing to go through, and we came down here and we revamped this slightly. This is now sealed off, so that way if this got breached, because these windows are stupidly easy to break, as I found when I was crash testing things, it wouldn't vent the compartments over here, which are the like the crew quarters and showers. Now what I'm going to show you on the right side is identical on the left side, so I'm not going to waste your time by going into 6 different rooms for 3 different effects. In here we have their first crew quarters. This one actually has 2 chairs. They're all tucked into the table very nicely. I love the way the collisions work, because this block is not part of this block, but yet I've got it right in there, and it looks really well seated. Good job, Keen. I love the new collision system we have going on with these blocks. It's amazing. And then, they have their cargo storage. I've now realized that they can literally not open it because it opens this way, but whatever. Good luck to them. And then we have the little locker. Oh, and their little view window. Oh, speaking of windows, these windows got a little change. Instead of being a full window, they're half windows, and they are double layered. I thought about doing more layers, but then I was concerned about people's potato PCs trying to render reflections through 8 fucking windows in a row right here, and I was like, yeah, maybe not. In here we have the bathroom. We've got the shitters on the left and the showers on the right. So we have our S and S, and then we have our sink right here. So we got the triple S's. Shit, shower, and shave. Got the triple S. There's not really much more that go off here. Sorry for the profanity, I just thought that was quite funny. And then we repeat the same design over here, except for it only has 1 chair, and I forgot to tuck it in, so, boo. In the window. Nothing else really changed. I filled in this hole right here, and that's really it. Like, nothing else has changed in this version. I basically just focused on a couple things I really wanted it to look better with, and then I made the platform for what the next type of ship is going to be using this ship. That's more or less what I done. It's how I did it in Space Invaders 1. I'd make a Mark 1 version the best I could, and then I would take the Mark 1 version, look at it subjectively, everything, modify it, and then we'd have the Mark 2, and then that Mark 2 I would then build the next series of ship off the Mark 2 to make it even bigger, better, and all that. That's kind of how I did my ships. So these will get updated. I may not update the Mark 1 because the Mark 1's kind of meh. But the Mark 2, this will get updated when we get more blocks in the game. So if you subscribe to this, if I even publish it, if you guys want me to publish it, let me know. These will get new blocks and features as the game goes on. And yeah, guys, that's really all I have to yap about. I spent 30 minutes yapping, so if you watch to the end here, I've decided I'm not going to edit this down. You get what you get. If you watch to the end, let me know. Comment pineapple. I love you guys so much. We only have, what, like, less than a week until Vertical Slice 2 drops, and I am so excited to hop in, make a couple videos, do a little series, see what kind of mods people get, and I might even be doing a video or two where I learn how to mod Space Invaders 2. But until then, I will see you in the next one. Love you guys so much, and bye. Looking to watch more videos from me? Click here or click here, and I'll see you right over there. And while you're here, maybe consider clicking here and subscribing. Bye for now.